Hi, my name is Courtney Olson, and for my public issue assignment, I chose to do teen pregnancy in Nebraska. Throughout this presentation, I will define teen pregnancy, where the issue lies in Nebraska, what is currently being done to prevent this issue, where the funding comes to prevent the issue, and then also two different alternatives that I came up with that I believe will help prevent the issue of teen pregnancy in Nebraska. So what is teen pregnancy? According to the American Pregnancy Association, a teen pregnancy is a pregnancy that occurs in a woman under the age of 20. This includes females that are under the age of 12. So while a 12-year-old or anyone under the age of 12 are not technically considered teens, they are still grouped into this category for teen pregnancy. So what is the problem? In 2016, 5.3% of all births in the United States were by women ages 15 to 19 years old. That's equal to about 209,809 births, or it averages to be 20.3 per 1,000 females. While Nebraska did have a lower rate than the national average, the rate was still 19.1 per 1,000 females ages 15 to 19. With the number being 209,809 births for women these ages, it's just outrageous. Teen pregnancy is 100% preventable, and we got to do something about the issue. So now I'll talk about some of the disparities, the first one being race and ethnicity. While Nebraska is primarily a white population, Black teens do account for 10.7% of all teen births in Nebraska, and Hispanics account for 28.6% of all teen births in Nebraska. So, like I said, Nebraska is primarily a white population. However, these statistics just show that there is an issue when it comes to race and ethnicity and teen pregnancy, that it does correlate. Another disparity is age and income. Older teens who are 18 and 19 years old are at a higher risk for teen pregnancy. And in 2012 and 2013, they actually accounted for 70% of total teen births during those years. Low-income teens are also at a higher risk. Thurston County in Nebraska has some of the highest teen birth rates, along with being one of the poorest counties in Nebraska. Some of the other disparities include teens who have teen parents or parents with only a high school diploma are at a higher risk of teen pregnancy themselves. Teens who do not live with both parents at the age of 14 are more likely to become teen parents. Teens not enrolled in school and or extracurricular activities are also at a higher risk. So this shows that enrolling teens and children in general in school and extracurricular activities, keeping them active and doing things with their peers, will just decrease the risk of teen pregnancy. So what is currently being done? Planned Parenthood is an organization that provides reproductive health care, sex education, and information to millions of people worldwide, both males and females. There are 2 locations in Nebraska. They provide quality, affordable healthcare services. These services include pregnancy services, STD testing and treatment, and overall just a lot of reproductive health care. They also offer different types of birth control options: pills, shots, patches, condoms, vaginal rings, and many other options for people of all ages. You don't have to be 18 years old to access their facilities and their resources. You can go to Planned Parenthood without your parents knowing. You don't have to tell your parents. It's all confidential. Nebraska also has a few different programs to fund sex education and unintended pregnancy, HIV and other STD prevention, and abstinence only until marriage programs. The Division of Adolescent and School Health receives $67,500 from the Nebraska Department of Education. The Personal Responsibility Education Program receives $296,603 $3 from the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. And the Title V Abstinence Only Till Marriage program receives $320,575, also from the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Title X Family Planning Program is a federal funding for subrepresents to provide reproductive health education and comprehensive medical services. Education services include things like reproductive and prevention health, breast and testicular exams, contraceptive methods, HIV and STD risk, and infertility information. Medical services include physical exams, cervical and breast cancer screening, STD screening and treatment, high blood pressure screening, anemia screening, pregnancy testing, contraceptive methods, referrals, and links to community resources. Subrecipients are located in Chadron, Columbus, Fremont, Gering, Grand Island, Hastings, Lincoln, Tecumseh, Omaha, North Platte, and Norfolk. So how do we address the issue? Sex education is the teaching and learning about a broad variety of topics that are related to sex and sexuality, values and beliefs of these topics, and gaining the skills that are needed to navigate and manage one's own sexual health and relationships. So in Nebraska, schools are not required to teach medically accurate sex education. And if schools decide that they do want to provide a sex education course or class, they have to teach an abstinence only until marriage approach. So kids aren't really getting sex education, they're getting don't have sex until you're married. That's pushing beliefs on these teens and makes them not able to make the decisions to have safe sex, and they don't want to use their resources because they fear adults judging them or giving them a lecture about how they shouldn't have sex until they're married. However, in California, their sex education is required to be medically accurate, and it must include information on contraceptives, abstinence, and sexual orientation. So, what can we do? Option 1, mandatory sex education. As I stated previously, Nebraska receives $300,000-ish from the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services to fund the Title V Abstinence Only Until Marriage. This money could go towards sex education in schools. It doesn't have to go towards telling kids don't have sex until you're married. Instead, we could take that money and teach children, provide them with the education they need to make safe sex choices and other choices and have options when it comes to their sexual health. Schools should also provide a similar program to California's. These programs should be medically accurate information. It should teach kids about the safe sex, and it would decrease kids learning about from their friends learning what false information could be spread to them. Teaching teens about safe sex does decrease the risk of unwanted teen pregnancy. Giving access to education provides them with the ability to feel comfortable in making safe choices when it comes to their sexual health. It also prevents, like I said, false information being spread among their peers. Option number 2 is provide access to affordable contraceptives. As mentioned before, Title X Family Planning provides funding for several subrecipients in Nebraska for reproductive health education and comprehensive medical services. While there are other subrecipients, the state of Nebraska has prohibited Planned Parenthood from serving patients through this program. That means there are thousands of people who are unable to access, or they just don't know how to access affordable contraceptives, which in turn increases the risk of teen pregnancy. Teens do need to have the ability to access affordable contraceptives and other sex education materials. They need to know how to obtain them and where they're available, and just in general what they can do to prevent teen pregnancy. Currently, 14 states provide birth control coverage without a copay or deductible. Women have access to affordable contraceptives and the ability to prevent unwanted pregnancy in these states. So really, it's just about making it known that it is possible to prevent teen pregnancy. You can get affordable contraceptives. Me personally, I didn't know that there was someone somewhere other than Planned Parenthood that did provide affordable birth control options. I didn't know about the other subrecipients of the funding and who could provide me or any of my friends or anyone in general with affordable access to contraceptives and sex education, reproductive health care, and all of those things. So teens do spend roughly 9 hours per day on their phones, computers, or other social media. This gives them the opportunity through advertisement to spread the knowledge about where and how to access these affordable contraceptives. Like I said, I didn't know about where I could access them other than Planned Parenthood, but with Planned Parenthood no longer being funded, there are other subrecipients that do provide these services, but we just need to make it known. There could be advertisements, there could be things on social media and TV shows, billboards, really any kind of advertisement would do for teens just to know. It could go along with sex education in schools because sex education should provide teens with the resources on and the knowledge to know where to go to get these services. So, yeah. Here are my references and all the websites and the American Pregnancy Association, Department of Health and Human Services, and all of those references where I did get all of this information. So feel free to check any of those out, and then act now and help us prevent teen pregnancy.